This program is sponsored in part by the National Catholic Society of Foresters. Hello again, and welcome to Looking at Social Justice. It has been now the 22nd time that we're able to bring you this 30-minute program with a special guest each time. And usually we are looking for people who obviously are doing social justice that many people think of as something environmental, something criminal justice related, homeless, hunger, workers' rights, immigration. All of these are the kind of shows we've done on social justice. But today's show is very special. It's called Social Justice Begins in the Womb, because the first principle of Catholic social teaching is the sacredness and the sanctity and the dignity of all human life, beginning with conception. So today we have a special guest, Maricela Lupercio, who is going to tell us a little bit about Latinos for Life, Tulare-Kings Right to Life, the projects that she works there across the diocese, bringing people to become aware of this first principle of social justice, that is the dignity of each single person. So Mari, tell us just a little bit, why don't you, about yourself, your family, how you ever got connected to social justice, womb to tomb, beginning in the womb, and about Latinos for Life. So start us off with something about yourself and your work.
Sure. Well, Jim, my husband Henry and I have been married for close to 16 years now. We have 4 children, ranging in age from, we've got a teenager in high school now, and our baby is going to be 4 tomorrow, actually. And you know, it's 13 years ago was when I started at Tulare-Kings Right to Life as the Latinos for Life director. 13 years ago now, wow. And what I do with that program, it's basically the Hispanic pro-life outreach for Tulare and Kings County. And the focus there is really to get out into the community any way that I can, whether it be doing presentations at a church, a home, a school, or participating in community events like health fairs, conferences, providing an info booth, and occasionally doing media outreach such as this, which makes me super nervous, by the way.
I am so glad you accepted the offer, especially if it's not your first thing to want to do. Now let's go back just a little into something that 13 years ago you already, at such a young age, had decided you would commit to this. Latinos for Life. How did the idea of Latinos for Life become part of your even imagination?
Right. Well, Tulare-Kings Right to Life has had a board of directors always, and they for a long time knew that there was a need to talk about the issue of abortion and how it affects families in the Hispanic community. And so they were searching for somebody to start something from the ground up of how we could get this message out to the Hispanic community, of course in English and Spanish. And so that's where they started the search, and I always say God gave it to me. I really was not looking for it, and didn't really have an idea of how I was going to get this done. And since then it's just been, I think, a daily yes to the Lord in, okay, God, where do you want me, and what do you want me to do? And starting it in the beginning, several years, took a whole lot of networking and being out there in the community for people to kind of get to know me personally and to gain that trust. And it's all about working with families, people of all ages. So I've done beautiful presentations for little kids, 2nd and 3rd graders, all the way up to talking to parents about the importance of discussing these issues in the home, which is part of the passion that I have for it, is because growing up in my home, we didn't really talk about any of these things. And that seems to be the case for a lot of Hispanic families. So that's that's a big focus of this program, is to get families to communicate about these important topics, these crucial life situations, more frequently and more comfortably.
Later in the program, we're going to let you tell more about these info booths, these presentations you give. But right now, I'm going to show you something that everyone will hear it or see it. It's from the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops and Catholic Relief Services. In 3 minutes, they give us what they call Catholic Social Teaching 101, and the very first principle, which proves your point: social justice begins in the womb. The first principle of our teaching on social justice is the dignity and the importance and the value and the sacredness of each and every human life. So let's look at this and listen to this message, and then you'll be able to tell us how you're putting into practice daily what it is that Bishop Barron and Helen Alvarez and Jonathan Reyes are proposing as the basis of Catholic social thought.
Children bear the image of their parents both physically and psychologically and spiritually, so in all those ways they are representative, if you want, of their parents. So in a similar way, all of us children of God represent God. We bear the likeness of God. So every human being, all have a purpose, a mission. They're part of God's plan.
At the root of our dignity is this right to life. And the right to life extends from conception to natural death. It applies to us across
Having been in your position for 13 years doing your particular work, your ministry, I wonder that in 3 minutes there would have been even a single thought that could be new, that could be, hadn't thought of that, or that's something even I did not think about much. Was there one thing, image, picture, sentence, or even a word that is either new or something that you say, we stress so much in Latinos for Life, the principles that Bishop Barron and John Reyes and Helen are talking about for those 3 minutes? What was the most important for you, Mari, of that message?
Goodness, I absolutely love that video, and I think what's so strongly shared there that many people don't realize is the fact that human life in the womb, though it is much smaller and less developed, those things are not what make us valuable or give us rights as human beings. And that's, I think, often what a lot of people don't really connect, is that especially in the first trimester, babies are so tiny that a lot of pregnant moms can't even feel them moving yet, and we can't tell by looking at a woman that she's even pregnant. And so I think that right there is something that a lot of people don't really connect, is that even in those earliest stages of pregnancy,
The very beginning of early human development and our lives, we are so small and we don't look human and we can't walk or talk or all of these things, but to make that connection that those things are not what give us rights as human beings, or not what makes us valuable, that what makes us valuable and what gives us rights is simply the fact that we are human.
What's happening in my life as a first time going to be a grandfather, I get to see ultrasounds. I get to see the developing granddaughter already gendered, already clear, already looking, oh my God, you can see the features of the parents. That's been like a major, beautiful moment in my own life. As a mother of 4, you've experienced this. What is it that in Latinos for Life, what are the things you're doing, the types of engagements with people? You do have some pictures. We might be able to sprinkle your conversation with images to say, this is where Mari and her team, because I saw the pictures, you are not the Lone Ranger out there. You've got a wonderful group. Why don't you tell us something, and let's see if we, for those that are seeing it as a video, they'll get some images.
Sure. So what we have here is basically doing offering presentations all over the place, and these presentations they range from talking about pregnancy and early human development. We have fetal models and lots of materials, brochures in English and Spanish that we offer free of charge to anybody who requests them. And it's having those conversations, teaching children even at a young age about the fact that from the very beginning, the moment of conception, fertilization, that their lives began and developed even before they were born. So it's a lot of fun to teach about that. And I think the program, the focus so much is because so many people are unaware of these things and are not necessarily, maybe they don't hear it at home or at school. And so really being able to make an impact in just teaching very basic principles and then being there to support is really important.
Who is working with you? On some of the images, it looks like there's like a whole squadron of people that you've obviously cultured and brought along. Who is part of your team?
So we have what we call our ambassadors. And this is a fairly new program that we launched and that I'm really excited about. I think so many people would consider themselves personally pro-life, and many of them don't know what to do about it or where they fit in. And so this program is perfect, because what it does is that it moves us from being just personally pro-life to being actively pro-life, and that is where true change happens. That is where lives are saved. That is where people are healed from, you know, their past experience with abortion is when we move into action. So this program is so simple. It's about little by little educating people on the abortion issue itself, teaching them some communication skills, bringing them with me to presentations to learn more, bringing them with me to health fairs, info booths, and having them help pass out the brochures, the little plastic babies with the cards. And so it's a very fun and interactive way to actually make a very profound impact in the community.
Where do you meet these partners, these ambassadors?
They all over the place. So it could be at the events that we're at. Some of them are longtime friends of mine, supporters. Over the years, we've had so many people who have been involved with us in different ways, whether it be that they send in a monthly donation or they attend our fundraising events once a year. So this program really is designed to help anybody take that next step of involvement and learn how to use their particular gifts and talents in a way that can save lives and transform lives.
You mentioned about multi-generational, and we did see little children involved. At least we've seen them at the booth and holding the babies, looking at the beautiful development of the human person. What do you most want people to, how early do you start working with words with people, and what message is it for children? At what level do you introduce them to what concepts? What do you teach little children about themselves and about what your work is for Latinos for Life?
Right, that's a really good question. And parents will often ask me that. They want to know when is the perfect age and time to talk about all of this. And I usually say, you know, there unfortunately isn't a super simple cookie cutter answer for that. I think, you know, as parents, we know our children best and more than anyone else. And I think that it has to be very child-led. They start to have questions, and the answers should come from their first school, which is home. The answer should come from their first teachers, who are their parents. So beginning at a young age, it's just about getting them comfortable talking about anything, whether it be changes in their body or, Mom, how did the baby get in there? You know, there's at certain ages, there's different language that you can, there's so many resources too. There's books and websites to help with how to say certain things at what age, and only we as parents know what it is that our kids need in that moment. And I think the key is to never, although we might naturally feel nervous or embarrassed by that because maybe we're not used to that and maybe our parents didn't really talk to us about it, it's important to take that step and to go there and have those conversations, because if we don't talk to our kids about it, they're going to learn it somewhere else.
So it's called Tulare-Kings Right to Life. Mm-hmm. How wide is your area in the sense of, are there parishes that you reach out to? Is it, what towns did you want to mention so we can know, oh, we have a parish there, and that would lead us to figure, is that parish connected with your ministry? So what towns and cities are you most involved with?
There's a lot. So it can be the larger cities like Porterville, and we really like to reach out to communities that are underserved, and we end up going to Ivanhoe and Woodlake and Goshen and Avenal, and we do have a pretty wide spread involvement, whether it be in Tulare and Visalia and Exeter, as I mentioned, Porterville, and there's probably so many more that can't think of at the moment, but we pretty much will accept an invitation anywhere, and whether it's a church, a public school, or a faith-based school, it could be even a home. I've had moms who will meet me at an event that say, I've got a teenage daughter that really needs to hear this. How can I get this message to her? And I tell her, you know what? Make some pozole,
and I'll be
order
there.
A pizza, have her invite her friends over, and I will go to their home and do a very personal presentation for them. And so it's really exciting to be able to have that flexibility and share whatever it is that they need in the way that they need it.
Now, one thing we didn't want to forget to give you time to talk about is an upcoming event, the LifeWALK.
Yes.
Tell us its history, what you're going to do, why you do it, who might participate, and how to sign up for it.
Sure. So this LifeWALK is coming up Saturday, April 6th. It is at Plaza Park in Visalia. It's our 24th annual LifeWALK. So every year for 24 years now, we've had this event, and it's a really fun family event.
So you've been 13 years at what you're doing. This is even predating you. I did have a question about how have things changed in those 13 years that you've been doing what you're doing. How would you say it's gotten easier, harder, more interesting, more challenging? What's been the trajectory for you, Mari, in all your work with Latinos for Life?
I think the major thing that immediately pops into my mind with that question is just social media. The use of social media and spreading the word that way, and who it can reach and where they are reached. That has significantly changed, because years ago I didn't have a Facebook or Twitter or have to post everything publicly, you know, and so I think that's a little bit of part of the growth that I've had in doing this work, is that over the years you've noticed that things need to be done differently, and so I'm working on that, and that's why I'm doing this show.
Now tell us about Facebook and Twitter. How is it not only affecting your work, but creating your work, expanding your work? How will people reach you on Facebook and Twitter? What are some of the things we can tell people so they hear it?
Sure. Well, currently the main place where I have most of my information and where people are updated on the work that we do is our Facebook page, and it's Latinos for Life. You can just search Latinos for Life with the number 4, and you'll see my picture there. Click on that, and you scroll through, and you will see all of the different events that we've been a part of, and presentations that we've done, and stories. There are always stories. Almost every time that I'm out in the community, we get to hear from women and families of struggles that they've been through, whether it be, you know, abortion in their past, whether it be issues with infertility, families that are interested in adopting. There's a wide range of situations that families need help with. And though we are primarily an educational resource, what's really neat is to be able to partner with organizations locally, so that when we do come across somebody who needs help starting the healing process, maybe after a traumatic experience with abortion, we can refer them to the programs that provide that. And we actually have a program ourselves, the IRMA Network, for post-abortive men and women. And that is such a blessing, because being able to do a info booth and maybe hearing a story firsthand, I can then refer them and hand them my coworker Maricela's business card. Her name's Maricela too, so she's Maricela and I'm Mari. But that's a big part of it, is being that educational resource, and then finding people that need help and plugging them into the place that can help them best.
I did go to the Facebook page because you said, oh, for some of the pictures, just go to my Facebook page, Latinos for Life. And it really was rich. It was so nice to see how you just share so much there. You do have a Twitter account that you.
That I don't even know how to use yet.
Oh, so that's your next
that.
thing. But it's been. How long have you been like working with Facebook that you see it changing your work so much? How long is that you've been so engaged in Facebook?
I want to say, gosh, I don't remember exactly. It feels like it's been forever.
Been a long time.
Yeah, there are many, many years worth of pictures and posts that share all kinds of stories and ways that people have been impacted, and it's really neat to see that over the years.
what invitation do you want to make? You've got like 3 minutes or so right now as we wind down a bit, to the parishes, to our, I would say, first of all, Catholic audience, but then everyone included, because Catholic means everybody, but our own group, our own church. What would be your urgent plea right now that people participate more with what you're doing and also what Right to Life of Central California is doing? Make a pitch for what we could be doing better. How could we cooperate better, support better this first principle of Catholic social teaching?
Sure. I think, first of all, I just want to say that most of us have this deep understanding of the sanctity of human life, and like I said before, are personally pro-life. But I strongly urge everybody to move from that position to a position of action, of actually talking about this issue in your home. Talk to your children. Get comfortable with talking about these important issues so that when life gets tough and those situations arise where we don't know what to do and we feel afraid, we're strong enough to get through that storm. And that is key, because being pro-life is not just a Catholic thing. It's not just a religious thing, or a political thing. This is truly a human rights issue. And every single one of us have the gifts and talents needed to be able to truly make a difference. So whether that be getting involved in your local pro-life organization, Tulare-Kings Right to Life serves Tulare and Kings County. Our phone number is 559-732-5000. Right to Life of Central California serves Madera, Fresno County, and please call them if you need assistance there, and that's 559-229-2229.
You've got a minute, and you already gave us the 3-minute version. One last pitch you want to make, Marty, to our audience, to our viewers, about the importance of deciding this year to actually do something in favor of life. One last thought.
So many people have been increasingly passionate about these third trimester abortions being legalized, and so I want to really help everyone out there to think about this more deeply, and as upsetting as it is to learn about these developments and laws being passed, we should be just as upset about the younger and smaller children being aborted. And so get involved in our events or come to our LifeWALK.
Thank you, Marty. It's been a pleasure having you. We look forward to have you back again soon. Take care.
Thank you, Jim.
God bless.
You too.